This is the Phillies Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I really hope that after we had to wait, an hour and 40 minutes for the, actually, no, it was only about an hour and 20 minutes delay for the rain delay, that we'd be able to talk about a win tonight. Not the case. Just continued garbage from this Philadelphia Phillies team that has lost, 7 of 8 now, just absolutely terrible. They lose tomorrow. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but, that would be another series loss for the Phillies. Look, the words that I hate, I really do hate these words. Bullpen game. I remember originally really hating it when I think it was Chase Utley's return after a long injury. And I think it was Chad Qualls was the last guy to come in, and he ended up blowing it. But I remember Ruben Amaro Jr., when he was the GM at the time, saying, well, tomorrow's going to be a bullpen game. I'm like, what? On Chase Utley Day? That's insane. And sure enough, it was a bullpen game, and the Phillies blew it. Chad Qualls blew it. He ruined Chase Utley's return after, I think he was held out of the first month and a half of the season, whatever it was. And that's what I remember going, wow, we're just going to concede the point to a bullpen game. And I still feel that way, especially with Phillies starters kind of defying the odds of all of baseball now when it comes to being able to pitch long into games and deep into games and all that. But today, in large part thanks to, Zach Wheeler's got a very important personal issue, and I don't say that in jest at all. Nothing beats fatherhood. So I wish him all the best, him and his wife and all that. But the Phillies were in a really bad spot to have a bullpen game, to have Joe Ross start out that game, to have a 27-year-old come out and make his big league debut and struggle mightily. And then Jordan Romano, second straight walk-off in as many appearances. And look, should they have picked up that ball when there was 2 runners on and no outs? Should they have done that? Yes, they should have absolutely picked that ball up just as it went foul. It was foul for a second. I assume Jordan Romano thought he had more time to pick up that baseball as it was rolling foul, but it just went whoop and made a sharp left turn foul, immediate sharp right turn back into fair territory. But as far as that goes, they loaded the bases with nobody out. Fine. What about the first 2 hitters that Jordan Romano had where he was up in the count 1-2 and couldn't put them away? Instead, back-to-back singles. Bases loaded then on that bunt single, the infield single there, and then you get a strikeout of Cruz. Great, good, phenomenal for Romano. And then a long fly ball to deep left field, plenty deep enough to maybe even score a run from second base. All right. And the Phillies lose in walk-off fashion again for the second time in as many appearances by Jordan Romano. This ain't it right now. And it even furthers the point I was making last night, which was, hey, Davey, is this how it's going to go? We're just going to continue to have to wait? Your bats tonight. You talk about pitching. Look, you knew what you were doing tonight. You knew what was happening. Before the game started, we knew it was a bullpen game. Before the game started, you knew you were going to need a big offensive night. 4 runs, and I know the Phillies just scored as many runs in this game as they did the last, 26 combined innings. They just scored as many runs. So, hey, whoopity-doo. But 4 runs and not a base hit after the 4th inning, 1 base hit after the 4th inning, and a walk? That ain't going to cut it, man. So the shot in the arm needs to happen. It ain't going to happen from Rob Thompson. It needs to happen from higher. There needs to be an acquisition. There needs to be a message sent, because you can't – look, these games count the same in September. They count the same they do right now in the month of June as they do in September. This isn't hockey. There's no point system here. You got to keep stacking wins. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are exactly the type of team you should stack wins against. Hey, look, Bailey Falter, you got him out of the game quick. That was great. He had been absolutely on fire. We highlighted his numbers. Last 5 games, he had allowed an ERA of 7-2, I believe it was, through the month of May. Absolutely dominant. So you get him out of the game quick. And then all of a sudden you can't tee off against their bullpen? Really? Really? 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position in total in tonight's ball game for this Phillies lineup. 3 for 12. That is pathetic. If you knew it was going to be a bullpen, you knew it was going to be a bullpen, and then the offense has to step up and do something. It can't just be Trea Turner. And there was one point that I thought this Phillies offense was really going to do something, because it was last night we were talking about Bryson Stott and how I've been saying for a week now, this is unacceptable for Bryson Stott. This is an extremely disappointing year after a lot of promise, moving into the leadoff spot and hopefully seeing the on-base percentage climb and all that. He hit at bat tonight, and we talked about it in last night's show. Somebody point blank in the comments, somebody just said flat out, it's great to have long at bats, but if they end in outs, what's the point? Well, I absolutely agree with that. And tonight, he had a 10-pitch at bat that he won the battle after going down to the count. I think he was down 1-2. It might have been 2-0. And the next thing you know, it's a 10-pitch at bat that he wins the at bat with a single to right field. Yeah, he was down in the count 1-2. Fouls off 4 pitches after the count ran full, I believe it was. 10 pitches total in the at bat, ended it with a single. Phillies ended up coming around and scoring in that fourth inning. They got a couple of runs home thanks to Trea Turner coming up with that 2-run single to center field on a 2-2 cutter that stayed up in the zone. So that was great. And he thought, all right, fourth inning, you got 4 runs across the plate already. You got a 4-2 lead. Let's go. Let's keep it going. No, that was it. That was the end of it. There was a lot that went on throughout this game tonight, so I'm going to have to do a full-blown recap of this just so I make sure I don't miss a take on all that went down in tonight's game. But let me start off with just the bullpen portion of it. So if I'm going 3 big things here, I'm obviously going to look at the bullpen game that was. Joe Ross, 2 innings and a run. Tanner Banks, an inning and a run. Rangel, Alan Rangel, major league debut at 27 years old. 3 innings. He's the guy they go to the most here. 45 pitches over those 3 innings, which is not a terrible number, especially somebody making their major league debut. 2 runs on 3 hits, 2 walks, a strikeout, and, of course, a home run. The home run he gave to Davies was a 3-2 cutter that got every bit of the plate, 402 feet. See you later. I mean, he just swung. Actually, no, that was the one on the outside. I think that was the one on the outside portion of the plate. And he just swung a quick bat through the zone, outer half of the plate, and roped it down the left field line. Yeah, that was the one that was the outer half of the plate, if not outside corner. And Davis, put a great swing on it for a 2-run home run. All of a sudden, you're tied at 4. That one, that right there, I looked at it and I said, all right, please don't be the end of this. Please don't be the end of this. And it was the end of the Phillies offense. They had nothing after that, unfortunately. First inning, Trea Turner led off with a single, so he had a runner on. Nick Castellanos comes up. There's a double steal. He gets I think he got credit for the RBI on that with the ground out to short, so it's 1-0 Phillies. Right away, you got your bullpen a run. All right, way to be. Unfortunately, your bullpen was still pitching in this game, and Joe Ross allowed an RBI single to Reynolds to make it a 1-1 game in that first inning. You get through the second, you get through the third. Top of the third inning, or get to the third rather. Alec Boehm steps up, gets the RBI single on a first pitch fastball over the middle of the plate. He puts that into center field, makes it a 2-1 Phillies advantage, but then the Phillies gave it right back. Reynolds hits a home run off Tanner Banks. Now it's a 2-2 game again. Phillies grab the lead back in the fourth inning. Trea Turner with that 2-run single, and it's a 4-2 Phillies game. And then the aforementioned Alan Rangel comes up there. He gives a walk to Canario there on 5 pitches. The second batter he faces is Davis. He puts the 2-run home run down the left field line on a 3-2 cut, 4-4 ball game. Gives up a single to Frazier. Gets Trolio, to ground into a double play. And then Connor Falafel fouls out to Nick Castellanos, makes a really good aggressive play there in right field. Then in the 5th inning, Phillies get a double from Nick Castellanos, and that would pretty much be it. Weston Wilson would work a walk in the 6th inning, and as far as the Phillies went with base runners, that was it. That was it. There was a play there by Brandon Marsh as things were starting to fall apart there on the Triolo. I believe it was the Triolo liner to center field. Marsh started backing the ball, and then he finally started to come in. Maybe if he gets a good break on that, he's making that catch. He probably is making that catch. Probably going to be a sliding grab there in center field. Johan Rojas in the first inning had a ball go off his mitt that led to a run scoring on the Reynolds RBI single. That was Gonzales, hit it to the right center field gap, and it just hit off the mitt of Johan Rojas on a play that he was there to make. It was similar to the Brandon Marsh play in center field against the Blue Jays where he got to the spot but just missed it. This one at least hit Johan Rojas' mitt, and he wasn't able to corral it, unfortunately. Weston Wilson almost had a really bad misplay, deep left field. He had to leap for it at the last second, but he made the play. Then he made a great lunging play to make sure no more runs were able to score for the Pirates on that. I think that was the 6th inning. It was rough. It was a really, really rough game to follow. Confidence level in the Phillies right now, few and far between. Few and far between to try to find confidence. And the guy that you look to, two guys that you really look to for confidence in this team, Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. Kyle Schwarber is going through a bit of a rough patch over the last 3 games, 0 for 4 tonight. Was swinging at stuff in the dirt, which is so unlike him, over 2 strikeouts tonight, 0 for 4 for Kyle Schwarber. And then Bryce Harper misses the game with now a wrist injury. Don't know what to make of that, but I would really like him back in the lineup as fast as humanly possible. As long as he's healthy. If he's not healthy, well, then you take your time, fella, because you're going to be needed to maybe make up some ground here in August and September. If this 7 of the last 8 free fall, if that continues. When we come back, we're going to look at really Trea Turner's night. Because if you're looking for something that was at least somewhat enjoyable to watch, it was Trea Turner and what he's been able to do for the Phillies as of late. So we'll get into that. I'll also give you my player of the game. We'll give you the turning point of the game. And we'll tell you what I think we'll be talking about tomorrow. This is Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Back after this. Time to tell you about Trade Coffee. How fantastic is this? Let's be real. Coffee just isn't a drink. It's a ritual, a lifeline, the thing that gets you from half asleep to fully functioning, and it's that essential in everyday life. Why settle for anything less than amazing? That's where Trade Coffee comes into play. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the United States, delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether you're a cold brew fan, not for me, but maybe it's for you. Pour over purist, thank you very much. They've got the roast that you're going to love. Now, when you talk about Trade's quiz, you can take a look at it and you can see all the amazing things they have there. If you look at their website, how awesome Trade Coffee is. Now, when you're talking about what they can do for you right now, Trade is exclusively offering our customers, our viewers, and our listeners 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. That's drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. TRADE.com/lockedonmlb for 50% off your 1-month trial with Trade Coffee. Enjoy. NBA Finals underway with FanDuel, and get into the swing of things with FanDuel, whether it be Tyrese Halliburton, whether it be SGA, whoever it might be. In that very exciting Game 1, I lost a little bit of money in Game 1. I went money line on OKC. Actually, no, I did take him at the 10. I took him at 9.5. That one didn't work out, but SGA's overdid, but it was a parlay, so no matter what, I lose. But hey, get in on the action with FanDuel, and you'll probably bet better than I do with FanDuel. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before and during the game. When it comes to player props, performance trends, same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. And how about this? If you're new to FanDuel, no better time to join FanDuel. It's the perfect time to sign up because you can head to FanDuel.com right now. You can place your first $5 bet, and if that wins, you get $200 in bonus bets. That's right, $200 in bonus bets with FanDuel. So make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Let's talk about that player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Again, this isn't fun. Going to an opponent for the player of the game. Well, unfortunately, Adam Frazier goes out there, gets 3 hits for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and then the man that walked it off. You're making me angry. A .214 hitter, Nick Gonzales, goes up there, and he gets the long fly ball to deep left field. Certainly deep enough to get the game-winning run home, and that's exactly what happened. Nick Gonzales, your player of the game. As for...
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
It's a 4-4 game. I understand that Rangel allowed the two-run home run by Davis, and that took a lot of air out of the balloon. A lot of wind out of the sails, but I thought Trea Turner's still swinging a hot bat. You're going to be looking good. You're going to be good to go. Everything's going to be fine. But in all honesty, when that bunt was laid down by Connor Flynn, it just skirted back into fair territory just across the chalk line down the third base line. I went, oh, yeah, this is over. It's over. You know what it was? It was over because it was literally a turning point of the ball turning back into fair territory. So anyway, that sucked. As for what you'll be talking about tomorrow,
this is what you'll be talking about.
You're going to be talking about a bullpen game. You're going to be talking about Jordan Romano now. 2 appearances, 2 walk-offs allowed. Not ideal. You'll probably be talking about that bunt to load the bases with nobody out. And then hopefully we're not talking about losing 2 of 3 in another series, at least. That's what I hope we won't be talking about. Let's get into the chat check and see how wonderful people are doing on this, it's a fine Friday night with the exception of the Phils. Morgan Landy, hello. Well, that was a waste of my Friday night. Thanks, Marsh. Marsh, not good. Jess Patrick, 2. It's got a very disappointing bottom lineup. Yeah, I didn't show you guys that yet. I don't think I showed you the bullpen. Trea Turner, 3 for 5. Yay! Kyle Schwarber, 0 for 4. Boo. Bomer, Casty, JT all come up with base knocks in this one. Castellanos again came up with that double. Nice to see. JT, I think, also came up with a double tonight as well. Edmundo Sosa, average down to 281. I know that doesn't sound low, but considering where it was not too long ago, and it's pretty low. Bryce Harper did get that hit in the 10th pitch at bat. You like to see that. Weston Wilson, Brandon Marsh, Johan Rojas did nothing. Oh, that reminds me. Johan Rojas, speaking of trying to give you all the takes from this game. Before Trea Turner's 2-run single in the 4th inning, Johan Rojas stepped up to the plate, bases loaded, nobody out. Weston Wilson went down, swinging at a first pitch, lined out to center field. Then Johan Rojas came up there. Johan Rojas against Bailey Falter saw 4 93 or 94 mile per hour fastballs out over the middle of the plate. 2 or 3 of them were really up in the zone, but strikes, and he couldn't catch up to them. This is 93, 94 mile per hour fastballs against a lefty. You're a right-handed hitter. And you can't catch up to that? That ain't heat, son. That ain't scorching heat. That's a ball that should be scorched into a gap for a bases clearing triple. We'll probably have to go in the corner for that, but you get what I'm saying. So, yeah, Johan Rojas left the left to be desired tonight as well. Continue with the chat and you awesome people here. Philly N8, hello. Well, Deborah needs to hit Romano with a brick. My Jordan Romano, I think, is morphing more into Barney from The Simpsons. I think that's what it's more. Maybe, you know what? Come to think of it, so is Jordan Romano. He's morphing more into Barney from The Simpsons. Oh, look, Homer, a walk-off. All right, sorry. All right, enough of that. But it's late on a Friday night. You know what I mean? Why not party? Why not party? Tommy Shrove, number one, I'd rather keep Kepler in there just for defense. I don't think Kepler's that great. Look, he's better. Unfortunately, he's your best option. Neither him or Weston Wilson hitting at least the defense. True. Very true. John Messina, what's going on? This whole team stinks. The GM should be fired immediately. Well, I don't see that happening. The first guy to go is going to be Rob Thompson if this continues. I don't think anything is immediate. But, hey, before that 9-game winning streak, I did say that it was coming out of it was not just the 9-game winning streak. It was the stacking series wins. And it was coming out of the Mets series. I said, Rob Thompson's going to be coaching for he's going to be managing for his job. He's going to be managing for his job. He might be falling back into that. He should be falling back into that category. Because if Dave Dombrowski, who I've said many times, he's going to the Hall of Fame. He's going to be a Hall of Fame GM. It certainly started out great here, and now not so much. So this isn't a panic move. This isn't, it's 162 games. If this happens, no, to hell with that. People told me all throughout last year, calm down. Yeah? Really? Calm down? You didn't see a first-round playoff exit? You didn't smell that from a mile away? That happened last year, and you sat on your thumbs. It's happening again this year. So learn from the mistakes of last year and actually make a move. One sooner rather than later. Please and thank you. Joel Elvers is going on. Seriously cannot believe this team. There was absolutely no way they should have struggled this badly to hit and score against the freaking Pirates. Romano takes some blame, of course, but come on. Yeah, my biggest thing about tonight is 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. That's my biggest thing. Morgan Lady, yeah, it is our luck just now. Tommy Shrub's going, at least 2 of those runs were from the outfield not doing their job. Ugh. Brandon Marsh, man, look, how the hell do you not break on that ball immediately? Like, you're a good defensive center fielder. I don't know how you misread that bad. Schwarber has disappeared. It's been now, 3 games with Kyle Schwarber. It's June. Still waiting for that to kick in. What's up, Greg? Christopher Michael, Marsh sucks. Yeah. I'm sure Schwarber's disappointed. Is this video? I haven't even started yet. That's funny. One more plan. What's going on? One more plan. Farzy, you still going to sweep for this trash team? Laugh out loud. They aren't winning anything. So you don't even have them making the playoffs? Because I think they still make the playoffs. It's just that they'll get embarrassed in the playoffs. So by not winning anything, not winning a World Series, probably not even winning the NL East. Definitely not winning the NL East. They'll limp in as a wild card team. Woody Buzz, that's funny. This team sucks. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. I heard that, Crazy. I watched that right before I came into the studio. I thought the second straight time Rob Thompson's telling you, I thought Jordan Romano stuff was good tonight. Charles Pappas is going on. Great teams should best last place teams aid a competitive offense without Harper in the lineup. Well, they had Harper in Toronto, and he was not great, other than that first game. Romo stinks. I'm assuming DM, that's Romano. Spider Wolf, what's up? I feel this is the first time they've converted a bases loaded situation. That Trea Turner hit, talk about a turning point. I thought, you have a bases loaded 1-out situation. At that point, it was a bases loaded 2-out situation. But I'm like, they got something out of this. They got a big hit from Trea Turner. Way to go. And then Kyle Schwarber struck out. And Kyle Schwarber, again, was swinging at junk. Junk on top of junk on top of junk. Crawford hurt his hamstring. I know they pulled him out of the lineup. I did see that.
By the way, how about Aiden Miller? The 283 in the month of May with 3 of his 5 home runs. Nice job there, Aiden Miller. If you look at just his numbers for the year, not impressive. But May, he had a great May, so that's good. But he's down in Double-A. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Bobby Boom. Farzy literally cleans up for Dombrowski not doing anything and think, hold on a second. Sorry, just doing an impression of the Phillies right there and Dave Dombrowski. Dave Dombrowski, last night I said he needs to do something. Like the message has to come from him. It has to be an acquisition, it has to be a trade, something. You have to learn from the mistakes you made last year, Dave Dombrowski. Like, I don't know how to make this any clearer. He does not get any sort of... I was ripping him last year for Austin Hayes when he was telling me that he can hit right-handed pitching, and I'm like, he can't hit a right-handed pitch. What are you talking about? Oh, and look, and then he sucked. Taijuan Walker. What are you doing with Taijuan Walker? All of last year I was ripping him for that. I'm ripping him for it again now, too. There's no excuse here for Dave Dombrowski. It has to come from him. Something needs to change on this roster very soon. Some shot, the words I used last night, a shot across the bow, some kind of warning shot to let this team know that this is unacceptable. The lull that they fell into last year was Dave Dombrowski just sat out again. Oh, Whit Merrifield will be the addition this team needs. Well, he sucked. Austin Hayes would be great for this team. Well, he was terrible. Offseason acquisition, Max Kepler. Jordan Romano right now. Hey, look, I got more confidence in Jesus Luzardo than probably anybody else that's been acquired. But the 20 earned runs in the last 2 games, I don't mean to use such a technical term as, but, I'm a big analytics guy. Anyway. Sir Sketchable! Sir Sketchable, what's going on? Unfortunately, I had to unsub because kids' bedtime causing me not to stream games live. Sorry to hear that. The postcast titles always spoil the result. Miss Guzzi. But we'll try to catch more postcasts. Thank you very much through the summer. I appreciate that. Good luck with bedtime. That's a serious thing. Good luck. I do mean that. Good luck. Thoughts and prayers. Don't forget your helmet, food rations, all that. Danny C., I agree with you. Don't be so harsh on Farzy. It's his job to be it's not my job to be a janitor. I am no way affiliated with the Philadelphia Phillies. It's not my job. And be as hard on me as you want. What kind of little baby would I be if I was hard on the Phillies and then was like, oh, hey, guys, take it easy on me. Charles Papa, Juan Soto and the Mets will own the team in the second half. Well, they already own the Phillies, so that's that. 6 pitchers versus the Pirates and they lose. That's hideous. Yeah. I mean, did anybody feel good about this game at any point? The Trea Turner hit, I was like, oh, maybe. And I'm like, well, it's still got to be the bullpen. Jeff Robinson, Farzy, stop being a corporate man. A corporate man? I don't think a corporate man is going to be like, oh, yeah, this team's going to get swept out in the first round. Of the what? You guys are hilarious. Timothy B., Farzetta, the Phillies will be 7 games out of first before Dombrowski makes any sort of more move. Here's the thing. It needed to happen yesterday. I think him waiting 7 games to be out of first place, that's even being generous. Like, I think he's going to wait 10 games, 13 games. Like, I don't think he looks at this team and goes, oh, yeah, we need major upgrades. I think he looks at this team and is like, no, these guys are going to hit. These guys aren't. No. They'll have a good week or two. And then when it comes to actually playing teams that are good, 500 teams even, like the Blue Jays, for instance, you're going to lose. And then you have a bullpen game against the Pirates. Look, this offense, this is what I always say. this offense showed exactly what they were tonight. Now, I know Bryce Harper wasn't in the lineup today, but still, it's happened with Bryce Harper. I mentioned the 2 games in Toronto. All of a sudden, just cold. That's who this offense is. That's what this offense is. That's why you need to get away from guys that are swinging for the fences. You need to find contact hitters. You need to find guys like that are tough strikeouts. You know, I mean, I always say old school versus good school. It's good school to find those kinds of guys. The unfortunate thing is the guy you are really banking on right now, and Bryson Stott, has been a major disappointment this year. Major disappointment. I've been saying that since last week. Danny Johnson, I want to KO Farzi in a sanctioned match, but he'll never agree. I agree. Danny Spiderwolf, the Diamondbacks are under 500. Dodgers in the middle of losing streak. Cubs, I'll give you. And Guardian. Okay, thank you. Danny Prado, what's going on, brother? Everyday Mets, Lindor is your dada. No argument here. 3-card Monty, Romano cheese. There you go. Evelyn. Hello, Evelyn. I got nothing, Farzi. This team stinks in all areas. I agree. We play better when we're the underdogs. Well, I'm reminded of a point I made after the Phillies lost to the Mets. And I believe the point I made at the time was, hey, the Phillies are doing a really great job of not peaking too early. As a matter of fact, too good a job of not peaking too early. And now they're back to that. Well, maybe they have peaked already. Maybe this is just the season now. Maybe this is where the Braves start kicking ass and then catch up to the Phillies, and then they start giving the Phillies a what for. Anyway, thanks everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Sorry the Phillies suck. My name is Mark Farzetta. This right here is the Locked On Phillies postcast. Connor Thomas has you covered each and every day with your Locked On Phillies daily podcast. I have you covered for your Locked On Phillies postcast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Rest of your night. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. 4:05 start time for your Phillies. So, yes, I will be right here back with you wonderful people. I don't even know who pitches tomorrow. I'm like, do they have any arms left to pitch? After the Ranger gets the start. That's right. It gets Andrew Haney. So, that'll be the 4-0 Ranger Suarez against 3-4 Haney tomorrow. So, there we go. Whoopity-doo. Have a great rest of your night. Be back with you guys tomorrow. See you then. Bye.